This is our first station in Delaware. We're going to be doing a station rigs and a station crib, so pay attention to that. Right now we're going to run into their assistant chief, who was a past chief. This is Matt, and he's going to kind of walk us through this truck. This is a 2018 E1 Rescue, and he's got all the details. Thank you for inviting us down, Matt. We appreciate it. So let us know what's inside here. What do you got?
So this is a 2018 E1 rescue truck. It's a walk-in variation. So up front here is just the driver and officer seating, multi-screen displays on both sides to operate the apparatus, MDT on the officer side, and 800 megahertz radios for communication.
Okay, so can you talk from front to the back so the guys know what's going on?
Yes, we have an intercom system and a camera system from the front to the back that we communicate with.
Right, and the one thing I noticed right away is this is a push button transmission. You don't have the old transmissions to shift and stuff
everything
like that.
Everything's push button.
Very cool. So nice and simplistic on the inside here, but you guys I got a ton of stuff on the outside. Can you walk me through what's on the outside?
Sure.
We're just going to go cabinet by cabinet. And right behind here is what's behind this door here.
So this is the driver's compartment. In here is a place for the driver to store his turnout gear and an SCBA for his use, and also our lockout kit and DOT equipment.
Yeah, very simple, very clean. Behind that we have what?
Behind that is our first body compartment.
Holy cow, you got a lot of stuff in here.
In here we have our built-in toolbox, some portable toolboxes, a battery-powered 32-inch Hurst spreader, and then this is where our fire suppression system deploys from.
Okay, you have water on this? Talk to me more about this thing. This is the first time I've seen a small tank on a rescue.
So this is what is called a burner system. This deploys a small tank of water and foam solution. It's about 75 to 100 gallons. It also has 2 air bottles. What occurs there is we turn on the air bottles, compress the vessel with the foam solution, and basically we have a calf solution that comes out to the extent of about 1,200 gallons of finished foam through a 1-inch booster hose.
Okay, so you're not using this as a fire truck, but you can, if you show up on a fire scene of an auto accident, maybe it lit off after they crashed.
Correct.
This is a perfect thing to have because the foam can suppress those vapors of the gas and things like that. Is that what it's designed for?
Correct. This is for the purposes of car fires that we would respond to associated with a car accident where the truck was due to respond.
Okay. The other thing I really like is this toolbox. This is the first time I've kind of seen a toolbox built in. It's nice and clean, labeled nicely. A lot of them we have the the portable toolbox that they would take out, but having one that's permanently mounted in there, that looks really nice.
Yes.
So
it works out well.
Now I noticed you have battery-powered Hurst tool. Do you have hydraulics also?
We do. So the second compartment houses a Hurst pump with 2 hydraulic tools, as well as the rest of our battery-powered complement. We have a spreader, a combination tool, and a ram, and then again the same for the hydraulic end.
So why do you have both hydraulic and electric?
So historically we've always used hydraulic tools. When we purchased this truck in 2018, battery-powered tools had become popular, so we wanted to try them. We weren't comfortable with the battery being the only thing that we had at the time, so we stayed with what we knew, and then we added to it with the battery tools as well.
Okay, now I hear that the battery powered, even though they're portable, they're heavier than the hydraulic.
They are heavier, they are more cumbersome. They're about as portable, but you can go anywhere you want to go with them. We do have the ability to plug them into a shoreline.
Okay.
So if the battery were to die in the middle of an extrication and we didn't have a spare battery, we could plug it into a cord reel and keep operating.
Okay, so you have the best of both worlds here.
Yes.
So it's almost like a fail-safe.
Redundancy.
Yeah, redundancy. And Firehouse is all about redundancy. We want to make sure that you are safe,
right.
I'm safe, and we can get the public out when it needs to be. One thing I missed back here, you have a light system up top. Is this where you control that light?
Yeah, this is a controller for the Wilbert light tower, which is mounted on the cab roof.
Okay.
It has 6 LED heads on it. It will raise up, I think, 12 feet, and then it'll pan around to whatever angle and area that we need it to go to.
Okay, okay. It's almost like its own air light then, too.
Yes.
You got plenty of lights for that.
Yes.
So underneath here, what do you have?
Underneath here is extra storage.
Okay.
For pads for stabilization. Come along, and then the same thing in there is extra storage for stabilization pads and tips for the 32-inch spreader.
Okay, okay. That's cool. And then behind here, I assume these are going to be air bottles.
These
right?
are all air bottles.
Yeah, we've seen this a lot. You know, using this space above the wheel well is pretty cool. You guys put 45-minute bottles in here, though.
Yes.
So you have what, 3 on each, or 3 here, 2 back here?
3 here, 2 there on both sides of the apparatus.
Okay.
To give us the spare bottles for all the packs on the truck.
Right. Okay. And then up here, what do we got?
So over the wheel well is some additional large stabilization, and then our complement of saws. We have a K12 chainsaw and then a vent saw.
Right. Okay. So what would a K12? What the big circle like this? What does somebody use that for?
So we would use it for metal roof, where we're trying to ventilate a metal roof, or if we're trying to gain access through a garage door, cut through a fence, any kind of metal cutting.
Okay.
Realistically.
Okay. Okay. And I like how the drawer comes out and folds down.
Yes.
So even the shorter guys can actually get up and get to the
Get up and
tools and
get
not
into
strain
it.
too much. So where do you keep the fuel and stuff for this?
Right here. So
Oh,
we
that
buy
just-
the canned fuel for it. It has no ethanol in it, and we just store it right here in the compartment so that it's
So not having
Where the
alcohol, you don't have to
tool is.
worry about going bad over.
right. We don't have any carburetor issues with the ethanol free fuel,
Right. Right.
so we're able to buy that commercially, and we just keep it.
I
stored
also
in the
like
truck.
how it's organized really well. It's not packed full of a bunch of stuff. It sits in its own little compartment. It's secured there. It looks very nice.
Thank you.
What do you got back here?
So this is our stabilization cabinet.
Okay.
This
okay.
houses all of our vehicle stabilization equipment.
This is one of the first rescues that I've seen that hasn't used wood as their cribbing. You use composite kind of material. Why is that?
So historically we've used wooden cribbing. When we bought this truck, the cribbing that came off of the previous truck had become aged and started absorbing some oils, hazardous, gasoline, things like that, and also had glass embedded in it from years of use on the ground underneath vehicles. So we opted to start fresh with the composite cribbing with the hopes that it won't absorb any liquids or have anything attach itself to the cribbing that might injure one of the firefighters.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely forward thinking, and especially nowadays, we talk about wood. Wood is expensive.
Right.
So, buying this composite, it's very durable, it doesn't soak up stuff. That's a good way to go.
It works out well for us.
So, all right, let's work our way around back. You have a walk-in, which is unusual. A lot of the rescues nowadays are, up top and stuff like that. We're going to come back to this in a little bit.
Okay.
Let's circle around to the other side and let's go down the passenger side of this vehicle.
Okay.
Back here, what's in this compartment?
So this compartment is primarily hand tools. There are 2 slide-out trays with an assortment of hand tools, axes, pry bars, roof hooks, things of that nature, as well as our junkyard dog.
Yeah, the staple
jacks.
of any cribbing.
And then with the junkyard dogs comes the mirage of assortments and attachments that
Yeah.
we keep. And then we have a shop vac as well.
I think this is the first rescue I've ever seen with a shop vac. So, cleaning up after yourself, or cleaning up an accident is pretty cool. Do you use that often?
Not often. There are times where we would have to clean something up if there was a liquid spill or glass in a vehicle that a child was locked in, something like that, where we just try to be neighborly and clean up so that they can be on their way without any unnecessary hazards.
Right. So, as you as a volunteer that's been doing this for many years, you are really thinking ahead of the game. It's all about customer service. It's all about taking care of the community. So even just putting a small shop vac on a truck
Right.
is pretty cool to do.
Right.
So behind this, you got 2 more compartments for your air bottles, right?
Yep, more air bottles back here.
Okay.
Same as the other side.
Gotcha. And up above the wheel is?
Above here we have another tilt-down tray
Okay.
with a battery-powered chainsaw,
Okay.
as well as an additional gasoline chainsaw.
Okay. Again, nice, easy to get to. It comes down. It's organized well. You got some big shovels
Yeah.
to clean up, any oil dry or any other mess that you need to do.
Correct. Scoop shovels. For,
Yeah. Very simple, very clean.
Yes.
It's anybody that wants to come volunteer with you can come down here, and with a matter of a couple shifts, would know exactly where things are. It's not so packed full of stuff
Yeah.
that it's hard to figure out what's in it.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. What's behind here?
So this is our officer side complement of hydraulic tools that gives us the ability to stretch hydraulic tools off of either side of the truck, or in the event that we had multiple entrapments at a crash scene, we could park the truck in the middle and attend to both vehicles at the same time.
Right, right. Yeah, that's nice to have, you know, 2 sets, you know, not just as a backup, because you have the electric and you have those,
Right.
but you can fight 2 scenes, or if something goes bad, you got another one available.
More redundancy.
Yeah, more redundancy.
Also a Sawzall.
Yeah, what's this?
So this is a stay dry bin.
Okay.
So the way this operates, we have a couple buckets on hand. There is a trap door at the bottom. We simply put a bucket underneath and we can fill it with the trap door in the bottom.
Okay.
This holds 250 pounds of stay dry or absorbent, and it fills through the top here.
Heck yeah, that's awesome to have. You know, every truck that I've seen, whether it's fire truck or rescue so far, always just has the bags.
Right.
You have some storage bags underneath.
We do.
You know, but you have a way to actually know how much is in there, and you can get to it very quickly.
Right. Yeah, this is a lot cleaner and a lot more user-friendly.
Is this a custom-made piece?
It is. E1 made this at our request when we had the truck built.
Okay, okay. And it was your brainchild, or did you see something like that before?
We brought the idea with us from a previous. We had a 1996 Four Guys rescue truck that it was built in an overhead compartment,
Okay.
and it came down through a large hose, and it was a good idea, but the employment of it was a little tricky.
Okay.
And getting the bags to the top to fill it and whatnot. So we wanted to bring it more to a ground level so we can fill it here, deploy it here, and not have to take our feet off the ground to do it.
Right, right. Very safe. Good way to do that also. I think that's pretty cool. I think a lot of the trucks should start going to that. It's very easy to use.
Yes.
So you got 2 more compartments here. We got this one has what behind it?
So this compartment is our primarily lighting compartment. We
Okay.
have some LED scene lights, a generator light. We also keep our positive pressure fan, electric fan. We have a backpack blower for debris cleanup at crash scenes,
Okay.
brooms, and then an assortment of Hurst chains.
So this is a pull-out drawer, just like everything else. Is that how you fill the water for the foam system?
Yeah, this drawer is a traverse compartment drawer, and it'll go out either way,
Okay.
halfway.
Okay.
So when the burner system is utilized, we can pull the tray out this way and fill the water tank.
That's awesome. Again, look how well organized this is. If I stand back and I look at this truck, just down all these open compartments, I can tell you exactly where it is, and I don't even work here.
Right.
So very nice to have, especially, you know, as those volunteers come in. Hopefully you're getting the newer generation. You got a couple new members or junior members coming up.
Right.
This is awesome for them to use and take a look at and help out with. Mm-hmm. You got one more compartment here, right? Ah,
So
this is your little giants.
this
You got-
compartment, yeah, 2 little giant ladders, 3 backboards, a Stokes basket, and light poles for our scene lighting.
Okay. Now, are you running EMS personnel on this, or are you running fire?
Just fire.
Okay.
We may incidentally have an EMT on the truck, but we don't run it as an EMS type rig.
Okay.
But we like to have the capability to backboard patients at a crash scene if an ambulance hasn't arrived yet.
Right.
It gives us a little more flexibility.
Right. And I like the webbing on it. You know, these things can slide around at times and stuff like that. So having it nice and secured
Yeah.
and well organized is very cool.
Yeah, that keeps it from pinching the door. If everything were to shift, sometimes you wouldn't be able to get the door open.
Right.
So
right.
that keeps everything where it needs to be.
So before we get to the back side of this, let's take a look up front. You got a couple more things up front.
There are, yes. There are winch receivers all the way around the truck, front, rear, and both sides.
Okay.
Inside here we have a Warn winch, portable winch that will fit into any of the receivers, as well as a extra electric line and a extrication bag for anything that we need for preparation for vehicle extrication.
And your little glass masters to break open the windows, you know,
Right.
get in, that kind of thing. So this is a bumper that I haven't really seen before, because most of the bumpers either have hose up front, or they have a Hurst tool, something like that.
Right.
You chose to actually just put your winch in here. Why is that?
Well, we wanted to keep the winch out of the weather, so to speak, and this compartment fit well for the dimensions of the winch. So it keeps it right here in front of the winch point and keeps it out of the weather and dry for when we need it.
Right, right. And that new Hurst tool probably doesn't fit in here real well, does it?
No.
I mean, you got these rails that come all the way up front, you know, for stability and stuff like that. So, you know, trying to fit something in there that big.
Right. With the frame rails to contend with, it wasn't advantageous for us to try to squeeze the tool in there, because it would have been too much trouble to try to remove it when it was needed.
Right,
So
right.
we went this avenue.
Once again, well use of all the space on this vehicle.
Right.
So, all right, let's go take a look at the back and see what you got inside.
Okay.
As we move to the back side, do us a favor, hit that subscribe, hit that notification. We're trying to get 50,000 mark. So this is the first time we've seen a walk-in rescue that's this new. You know, back in the older days, we had a lot of walk-ins, and they kind of got rid of those and started going to the, you know, the storage up top and stuff like that. If you go back to one of our videos of Alert, they have a nice big rescue too. It's kind of got a little walk-in, but it's more of the rescue stuff up top. What made you decide to do a walk-in?
So we had a walk-in rescue truck up until 1996 when we purchased a non-walk-in. This unit replaced the 1996. There were a lot of features and things that we could do with a walk-in years ago that everybody, for whatever reason, got away from. We decided to go back in that direction because of the usability of the space that we liked years ago.
Right.
In a more modern and safer fashion now.
Right.
So we decided to go back with the walk-in to be able to deploy it for an air-conditioned area, heated area, you know, for manpower. We can use it as a command center. Our divers can use it to transition in and out of their dive suits. It just gave us a lot of functions that we wouldn't have with a standard crew cab rescue truck.
Right. You actually get more seats because there's 8 seats back here, 6 of them being air bottled.
Right.
If you had just a standard cab truck with a walk up and up top, you don't have that kind of seating for most of the rescues.
No, we would probably have 4 pack seats in a conventional cab with a couple extra non-pack seats, but this does give us the opportunity to put more pack seats and more firefighters on the truck.
Right, and transport them very safely.
Right.
So. In here you got a bunch of things too. I see behind you have some of your airbags for rescue. What else you got behind the mesh there?
So we have absorbency pads on one side. The other side we have some dry suits for ice rescue, some other ice rescue related items, as well as more additional air bottles.
Okay.
Positive pressure fan as well.
Okay, yeah, that looks like one of the older ones, but
Yeah,
they still work, don't they?
Smoke ejector fan.
There you go. And up here, I mean, you got a nice cabinet. You could put a command module up here if you needed to.
Yes, we can take our tablet from up front, transition it back here, and use this as a command center. You know, we have a mobile radio, and we can move back here with whatever we need to run a larger scale incident and be out of the weather, so to speak.
Sure, sure. So you got your lights as we work our way forward. You got your spare batteries. You have a FLIR or a thermal imaging camera. And then we're heading back towards the back of this truck. When you have these cabinets, have other things in it too, like what?
So we have gas detection devices, electronics, you know, spare parts for the truck, as far as the battery systems and accessories, I'll call them, for all of the smaller devices that we carry.
Okay. And over here is kind of your rehab area. You got a coffee maker and a little fridge.
It is.
With all your refreshments. So, you know, it's not just a fire truck or a rescue truck. It can be used as a rehab.
Right.
So,
some place to get out of the weather, whether it's hot or cold. They can get a hot drink, a cold drink, and, you know, relax for a moment.
Right. The other thing that keeps coming up, and you know, as I'm walking through and looking at this, just because you have a lot of space in this, you haven't filled these things so full that you don't know what's in it. You kept it very simplistic, very easy to read when they are labeled, very easy to see where all that equipment is.
Yes.
So once again, kudos on you for keeping it very simple but effective.
Right.
Back here you have some more rope bags.
Yeah, this is all rope bags of various sizes, lengths, and configurations for various hazards that we encounter, as well as our RIT bag.
Okay. Now down here in Millsboro in Delaware, you're pretty flat in Sussex County.
Yes.
You have the ocean on one side, you have a bay on another side, you're kind of in the middle of things. Where would you use ropes?
Mainly agricultural incidents. So this area is mainly agricultural. Once you move away from the beach area, we have a lot of grain silos, chicken processing facilities, things of that nature that are spread around that could present an issue with below grade or above grade rescue.
Okay, okay. And once again, you're thinking of it all. Right behind me is, last but not least, cabinet is your EMS cabinet. That's, you know, kind of near and dear to my heart, being a paramedic.
Right.
But you have your AEDs, you got your PPEs for all of the stuff that's going on, and your emergency equipment. So.
Yep, a little bit of everything.
So once again, this is a 2018 E1 Rescue. We're down in Millsboro, Delaware. This is our first fire station in Delaware to do. So thank you all for watching. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe, hit that notification so we can keep